Okay, so first thing we're going to do for this smoothie bowl is we're going to chop up our carrots. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to heat up some chicken stock in a sauce pot. I'm using about half a cup to start, and I could add more as I go along if I feel like there needs to be more. Alright, so to chop up the carrots, and line up 2 at a time, and chop them a bias. If you do that, then they won't roll around. And chop them about a ½ inch thick. These are peeled, trimmed. I'm just going to put those in there. Make sure that you have your fingers tucked in as you go. Great. So I guess that ends up being about a cup of chopped carrots. Okay, so to peel ginger, you're gonna take a spoon and then just run it over the surface. Sorry, I lost my heat here. Heating up the chicken stock. Yep, and just run it over the surface and the peel will come off nice and easy. Yeah, this is easier than taking out a peeler, or I've seen some people, you know, run their knife over it. So that's kind of hard too. This is probably the easiest way. I've even seen some people leave the peel on, don't even have to go through the hassle. So it's kind of up to you. I kind of wanted it off. I don't really want the texture of the ginger peel, so that's why I'm going ahead and taking it off. Okay. Now we're just gonna chop it up. I'm gonna do long strips first. This is boiling. Good. Long strips, and then you're just going to kind of stack them like that. We'll do in half. And then, so you end up with these kind of tiny little cubes. Now ginger is great for the digestive system. It helps with muscle spasms. It helps with nausea too, if you're ever feeling kind of nauseous. It should really just be a staple. And carrots are great because they have a lot of vitamin A in it. And vitamin A is really good for the intestinal lining. And they're just all around kind of soothing. They don't irritate anything. Okay, so we're going to throw the carrots and the ginger in together. I'm just going to put this down to a simmer. Alright, and at this stage too, I'm also going to add fennel. Fennel is really good for stomach upset, for nausea. So this is another kind of staple. It's a very strong flavor, so I'm only adding about, I would say, like ½ a teaspoon of fennel in there. Some celery seed. Now you could use regular celery if you want the extra fiber. I decided to just try it out with celery seed. We're not going to use too much. Celery seed is also very strong, so this is like an 1/8 of a teaspoon. Kind of adds another nice dimension of flavor. Okay, and then the star of the show is going to be turmeric. Turmeric is in the same family as ginger, so this should also be a staple of your diet. These two roots, they're very good for the intestinal tract. I'm adding about a ¼ teaspoon in here. So that's going to enhance the color, which is nice. And then I'm going to save the rest in here for the topping. Okay, and then I have some tarragon, which I washed. It's about roughly like a small little handful. Tarragon's in the mint family, so that's also good for digestion. Anything in the mint family, peppermint, regular mint is good. Alright, so that's simmering now. I'm just going to let the carrot soften in there. And also, I decided kind of at the last minute to add red pepper. We're just going to lop off one side of it, not to add too much. And the reason is because red pepper has a lot of lycopene in it, and since tomatoes can irritate the stomach and they may have been eliminated for your from your diet. I know I kind of had to eliminate them from mine. It's good to find other ways to get nutrients that are in tomatoes, and red peppers are good. They don't irritate me, but if it's something you want to leave out, then leave out. It also kind of enhances the color too, which is nice. Okay, so our whole mixture is going in there. You can add a little salt. Maybe I'll actually measure out the salt. My lord. It's only because I have my measuring spoon out right now. Otherwise, I never measure out salt. I probably should. Remember, there's also some sodium in the... Make sure you check the chicken stock to see if there's sodium in it, because then you can overdo it. So it's going to go probably for about, I don't know, anywhere between 5 and 8 minutes, just until everything softens, and then it'll be blended up. Okay, so I just blended it up in my immersion blender. Here we have it. It's very nice and spicy. You have the sort of licoricey, minty taste from the tarragon and from the fennel. And what I did was I took some goat's milk yogurt. I converted over from cow's milk, and it's working out okay. You don't have to add this if you don't want to, if you're trying to eliminate dairy altogether. But goat's milk is good. It's lactose free. It doesn't really bother me. I mixed that with some of the extra turmeric I had. And turmeric is a little on the bitter side, you have to remember. So to kind of offset that, I added in a little bit of maple syrup, a little sweetness. You can add in honey or whatever you want. Not too much, just a couple of drops. And it worked. It really helped. So then you could just kind of drizzle that on top. And it goes along with the little orange theme that we have. I think that's enough. Okay,